Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today we are going to be talking about how to drive cleanly when you're very close to other cars. And that doesn't mean only being behind a car, but also if you're in front of a car, and how to approach turns and corners and how to just stay clean and keep it clean. This is a PSVR2 only lobby for the community race that you're watching. This is at Tsukuba, and this was Gr4 cars, and I purposely picked this track to do because I knew cars would be driving close, and this is going to be, challenging for cars to kind of keep it clean, right? So I'm going to tell you my approach, how I approach things, and while it might not get you the best finish and passing cars all the time, it's gonna keep you clean. Now, I'd rather finish a race in a further back spot and finish it clean than finish in a better place but use other cars as my brakes. Driving when you're like tenths of a second behind a car, a lot of people tend to punt other cars when they're driving that close, right? Generally, driving in real life, you kind of stay back a certain distance. So if the car in front of you hits their brakes, you have time to react and hit your brake. Well, in racing, we're driving so close to each other that you don't always have time. Look at that turn. Inside. Tag had the inside, I had the outside. We both went side by side. I actually gave him a bump draft right there, trying to speed us up on the straight, trying to move us closer to the front of the pack, which, working together with someone is always good, guys. Try to work with people, not always try to pass them. If you can bump them, if you can get some bump draft going, get you guys moving faster to get to the front of the pack, definitely work on that. But coming side by side, as we were coming out, I saw I didn't have the better runoff, and instead of knocking into each other, I have no problem letting up and letting the car get back in front of me and me falling behind. Coming into a turn and you're really close, you need to forget about your brake markers. You need to completely throw them out of your head. The whole thing with this is we're gonna try to avoid touching other cars, hitting other cars, spinning other cars in these lobbies. And this is going to be a great place for you to practice because your finish isn't going to be important, guys. We don't really care. It doesn't affect your DR rating. So, you get into daily races and you're so concerned about your DR rating that you got to finish up front. And sometimes you forget about racing clean. And I think a lot of drivers in these lobbies forget about racing clean because they're so worried about their driver rating and they don't really care about using another car as their brakes. So you have to throw out your brake markers if you're driving behind another car close. You need to really start braking a lot earlier, and you need to really trail brake into turns. You shouldn't, even if your turn generally is slam hard on your brake, turn in, and then excel out. You need to really start trailing a lot sooner and slowing your car down a lot sooner, where if you're starting to approach too close to the car in front of you, you're slowed down enough where you can control your car and stop it at any point that you want, where you won't hit the car in front of you. Because how many times have you been in this situation where you're coming into a turn, you're driving off a straight really fast, car in front of you stops, you slam on your brakes as hard as you possibly can, you can't brake any harder, and you're still going to hit the car in front of you because you don't have control of your car at that point. You can't slow your car down at that point. You came into that turn too hot, thinking of your brake marker and not thinking of the car in front of you. Start slowing the car down a lot sooner than your brake marker. When you hit your brake marker is when you start hitting it harder. But by that time, your car should be slowed down way slower than you're generally driving with no car in front of you. All right, so that's going to be a big thing, avoiding the car in front of you, not punting the car in front of you, and hopefully other cars not punting you either. The more you think about it, and again, I don't think people consciously think about this when they're racing. They're just driving fast with the car in front of them, looking at their brake marker, and then just thinking like, all right, I hit my brake marker, slam on my brake, wait, but the guy in front of me slowed down too quick, or, your reaction time is going to be way different than that car in front of you, so you need to really understand that. Another thing is, don't be afraid. I always say don't be afraid to let cars pass you, but when you're driving, and especially in VR, we're using our radar a lot. So I am looking at my radar quite often. And if I see a car coming towards me, if they're going to, coming into a turn and they're at my back, my back bumper, and they're still coming in there, if I see them approaching that close and we're coming into a turn, you know, that's too late for me to block, and I'm not going to turn in on the inside. I'm going to stay to the outside. I'm going to hope the car that's going to take the inside is going to, you know, stay on the inside, and we can go side by side. Now, this doesn't mean if you don't have a lot of room to go in there, and if you already see where my car is and you can't make, you know, if I stay in my line without moving to the outside and I'm driving the line, you know, by you bringing your car into me and hitting me to stay on the inside line because there was a little room, then that's not a clean pass. That's a dive bomb. Even though you had some room, you should still avoid some room. You need to have enough room. You should also, you know, does the car in front of you see you? And do they know where you are? And are they going to the outside because they know it's too late to block you and they're going to give you the inside? If they're not going to give you the inside and it's not going to be enough space for you to take it without touching them, then you need to lay off the brake. You need to hit the brakes. You need to pull back. You need to slow down, and then, you know, worry about it at the next turn. Don't always think every turn pass. If you're faster than the car in front of you, you're going to pass them. If you're the same speed as the car in front of you and you guys have the same consistent speed, then you guys will probably run together. You guys will run a good race. You're also, you know, be hoping for a mistake. You're hoping for a mistake if you're running the same pace with the car in front of you, where you can cleanly overtake them because they kind of, maybe they lost the back end or something and they spun out or something, or they just got loose a little bit, where you can just overtake them. And then again, you're running the same pace and you'll stay ahead of him. So, you know, it's very important not to always think pass. You know, an example here was where you know, me and Tag were running close. He just kept staying in front of me. I couldn't have a runoff on any turn where I was fast enough to get past him. So, you know, he just stayed in front of me, but unfortunately he lost the car at one point, you know, lost the back end. He still stayed alive, but it was enough for me to pass him. And I've stayed in front of him because, you know, we were running pretty close in lap times. So I'm running fast enough right now to stay in front of him. When he was in front of me and he was running, you know, the same consistent lap times close to me, then, you know, he was able to stay in front of me. So you're just hoping if you're running that same consistent speed with the car in front of you, that you know, they just make a mistake. But don't make them make a mistake. Don't throw them into a turn. Don't bump them. Don't slam into them. Stay clean. If you come in really close, it doesn't mean, you know, run as close as you can into a turn. Back off, back away, and then work on the next turn. If they're running good, consistent laps and you guys are the same speed, then they deserve to be in front of you. Then that's where they should be. It's not like a slower car is in front of you. And if they are slower and they're blocking a lot, but if they're slower, you should be able to get a good runoff on a turn and be able to pass them. But the odds are, if you're running neck and neck with a car, is you guys are probably at the same speed. You just want to stay good, stay clean. It's all about racing and having fun. These races, and the good thing with, you know, with lobby races is it's not about where you place. It's not going to affect your driver rating. So this is a great place to just practice driving close to cars, driving clean, staying, even if you fall back a spot or two, you're not going to affect your driver rating. So there's absolutely no issue with really good practicing of clean driving here. And, you know, I definitely want to have like the cleanest lobbies. Of course, mistakes are going to happen. Like I said, people are going to hit each other. People are going to ram each other. But did you ram each other because you just broke a little too late? Or did you ram someone because you dive bombed them and then you just kept pushing them and pushing them and pushing them? You know, that's a different story than making a mistake. That's taking spots where you just didn't have the room and you consciously went in there to bomb, right? To dive bomb. That's the difference between making a mistake and intentionally getting into something where you probably shouldn't have gotten into. So, you know, if you guys want to join these races, definitely send me a friend request. You know, these are lots of fun. And, you know, I like to share videos of everyone racing and you can see how everybody's doing. And, you know, this isn't to knock anybody or say you're terrible or you're bad or this was bad. It's just a good way to really analyze different racing, talk about strategy and, you know, things that might help some people get better. You know, some people might disagree with my comments and they might have other comments that can help you stay consistent, stay clean, race better, and you know, improve your racing skills. But here we go, you know, coming into the final turn here. I finished in P7. I could not pass Vox VR. Tag just stayed behind me the whole time as well once I passed him. So fun race, good clean stuff. I tried to catch Vox, but just couldn't catch him. And you know, it was fun stuff. I appreciate everyone who joined it. Had lots of fun. We all enjoyed it. We all had a good time. So if you guys enjoyed the video, thumb it up, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.